topic of choice now is Cloud Insights. This is our new tool set that we're actually going into preview mode with NetApp. It's a pure SaaS operation for infrastructure monitoring. And it's really infrastructure monitoring across the entire application infrastructure stack. This is not the same product as OnCommand Insight. This is a new product to the market. What we're doing is leveraging some of the IP that's come from OnCommand Insight, but the back end is completely different. The reporting capabilities and the technologies that we're bringing into it is also different. And the goal of this one is helping organizations innovate faster. We're aiming it at a slightly different audience to the OnCommand Insight, biggest of the big organizations. This is for everyone. So the reason we're doing this, we've seen a new complexity coming into the marketplace. It's not just the case now that there's a virtual machine that's connecting to a hypervisor, connecting to an underlying storage. New application infrastructure stacks are built in completely different ways. Microservices, containers, and the way that people are consuming the cloud environments means that infrastructure is now becoming way more transient and way more dynamic than they've ever been in the past. Containers are coming into existence and disappearing minutes later as the application is balancing its internal loads. So existing tool sets don't have the ability to keep up with this infrastructure. The data feeds are so fast. The information ingestion needs to be millions, if not billions, of data points per second. And it is that transient that when you look to troubleshoot what was going on yesterday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, those entire microservices have gone. The VMs that they were running on have disappeared. There's nothing there to look at. You need a tool set to be able to keep up with not only just the metrics, but all the understanding of the relationships of the different components, how they're interacting with each other, and how you can right-size that environment. So, Cloud Insights.
So just at the 40,000-foot view, it sounds like what you're saying is OCI is more for the legacy infrastructure stack. Cloud Insight is for the cloud-native world, web scale, containers. Would that be correct, or am I wrong?
I wouldn't describe OCIs for the legacy. That doesn't really kind of.
You don't like the word
I don't
legacy?
really like to say that.
Okay. Okay, the 3-tier application architecture with the 3-tier technology stack, would that be?
Well,
Don't like that either?
You're probably
the same that one, but it's for the large enterprise that needs that holistic view across their infrastructure stacks. Where we're targeting Cloud Insights is for the smaller business unit, the app dev group within the enterprises, or it's a smaller enterprise, or it's a NetApp customer that's got maybe 1 or 2 different storage rates.
Do you see a customer using both Cloud Insight and OCI, so they're not mutually exclusive?
No.
All right.
There is an overlap, and you will see the overlap. I will demo the product, and you will see there is a distinct overlap between the two. But that's because we've leveraged the IP that's gone from one into the other.
Can I connect the two together? One management plane?
We're in a preview mode at the moment. We've built them separately. The future's the future. So NetApp has got its the data services stack. We have the storage, we have the backup protection, we've got the data orchestration integration, and the data management and optimization layer that sits above those. Well, what I'm talking to you about today is Cloud Insights, which is going to sit in that space. So we've got 3 main use cases with Cloud Insights. There was a different set of use cases with OnCommand Insight. Cloud Insights is really about the troubleshooting, the understanding the environment, the monitoring of it to fix issues faster. We're believing up to about 90% we can reduce the mean time to recovery. The cost of the infrastructure we can really reduce by looking at the waste in that environment, and we can prevent issues. So there's no need to kind of hunt through logs, hunt through different application result sets to try and pinpoint the areas of problems. You don't have to do all that hunting around. Finding the unused resources, we're going to expose all those components, and then doing the performance.
What sort of data do you have that says it reduces mean time to resolution by 90%?
So we've got that from basing our knowledge on what we've done on OnCommand Insight in environments of similar size and scale to what we're looking at targeting with with Cloud Insights. So that's how we're making those claims at the moment. So, okay. We're going to offer Cloud Insights in 3 different editions. The first one you should note is not the free edition.
Not a free edition. So
But it is the free edition. So the free edition is going to be coming out for NetApp customers. If you're a NetApp customer, you've got a NetApp device, we will give you Cloud Insights for free on that device. So we will gather 7 days of performance data, 1 week of rolling performance for those devices. So if you've got a storage grid, we'll capture your storage grid information. If you've got FAS devices, you've got cloud volumes, you've got SolidFire, you can feed all that performance data up into Cloud Insights, and you can see it and you can look at it. So it'll give you the understanding of the storage constructs and the relationships of the storage itself, all the different attributes, and it will also give you the performance of those.
Do you have a version of this with the OCI features as a column as well, just to see what's
It's all
the feature parity?
I do on my laptop,
But not in this deck.
Not in this deck.
That's a great
So
answer.
just Cloud Insights is a subset of the features in OCI? So if you buy OCI, you get everything, or is Cloud Insight have additional features that
Cloud
OCI
Insights is going
doesn't
to have additional features.
Okay.
It's going to have different features because we're aiming at
At a different market, a different use case.
Yes.
Got it. Okay.
So, and one of those that jumps out of the page here is container monitoring, and then advanced services on the hypervisors, hyperscalers.
Because definitely from a 40,000 foot view, something like that has value, just the difference. So you can see, okay,
Yeah.
here's what I'm getting, here's what I'm not.
And then we're offering, so we're coming out with a general availability in October. We're going to be live as of Insight Conference, the NetApp Conference, with the standard edition, and then subsequently after that, we're going to come out with the Pro edition. There's different features, and it's a progression up the stack.
Got it.
Yep.
So container monitoring, Docker, Kubernetes, Mesosphere.
Will be the things that we're targeting with Cloud Insights. And I'm going to jump now to a demo of what this actually looks like. And this is what people will see with the NetApp Essentials edition. Here's all the performance of my NetApp storage. Here's my breakdown of the capacity by each one of those. There's my all-flash FAS devices, my NetApp hyper-converged infrastructure, the capacity of my cloud volumes, my E-series, my storage grid. That's the kind of data sets that we're getting. There will also be drill downs on each one of those, so I'll be able to then search for, let's see, SolidFire in this environment, SolidFire HCI box, and then we've got all the underlying constructs, that correlation of resources, the greedy capacities. I've got all my performance metrics, throughput, CPU, capacity. I can graph them all. I can compare them to the different underlying subcomponents. This is all SaaS-based, so there's no need for the Cloud Insights customer to be deploying a big, heavy-duty server in their environment. What we do require is what we call an acquisition unit, which is a very small virtual machine that then is the kind of conduit between their infrastructure and us, so they can open a HTTPS connection across the internet into our environment, and then we can securely
Pull that data back. Now that one runs agentlessly in the same model as OCI?
It's running, we're leveraging the same data collectors that we've got from OnCommand Insight. I can give you a kind of an overview of what those look like.
So there's no no connection to NetApp telemetry data that's coming off the storage systems or anything like that?
So there's the ActiveIQ is the NetApp toolset that's pulling that telemetry data across. The intentions is that we've got Cloud Insights that's pulling the performance data. There's ActiveIQ. You can add one and one together to get two at that point. So there is intentions around that. But here's all the different kind of, some of them have given us permission to use their logo, but the ability to then pick those collectors and see what we've got. So my collector setup, again, it's a very similar process. I just need to put in an IP address, a username and password, click add the collector, and I'm now starting to pull data back here from Ceph, but from any of the different devices out there. There's Howard's Clarion that you wanted to collect from. You can still do that.
I'd have to turn it on.
Okay.
That alone is a cost.
So for the subscription model, is there like a minimum length? Could I get this for 3 months?
So some of those components we're building out, but at the moment it's 12 months term.
Okay.
Yep.
James, is this available to support as well? So if we called up the NetApp support team, so we're having this issue or something, they get this sort of view as well of our environment? Or is there a cut down version for them? Or
So at the moment that doesn't exist. That ability, but if the customer wants to give support access to their Cloud Insights environment, that's on the customer's behalf. I mean, and it's all NetApp in the back end. So if they wanted to do that, if we wanted to share the Active IQ information with the support teams, that all kind of logically makes sense.
yeah.
You showing me the collectors under Amazon, just for grins?
Yep. So there's EC2 and there's the web services billing data at the moment on there.
Not so much.
There should also be an S3 one coming as well.
No Glacier.
There's not Glacier there at the moment. We build these out. There's no, if people are on Cloud Insights, they're never upgrading Cloud Insights. We're doing all that piece for them. They'll see new features just hit all the time. We put new data source collectors out there.
But if you're a customer and you say, hey, I really need Glacier added,
that's something that we can
put in
then,
that service request.
We would then start putting our engineering guys on to bring that in there.
And Azure is not here either.
It's buried under Microsoft.
Okay. I got you.
Yep. So the other pieces that we can then start doing on here, and remember this is my preview environment, so this is how I see the world, but things like a Kubernetes environment, and we can start collecting the data in Kubernetes, and we can start seeing all the different pods. So this is actually built from our us looking at Cloud Insights, monitoring Cloud Insights. So one of the key pieces for our site reliability engineers is understanding the number of clusters out there, the number of pods, and what's going on each of those pods, what the throughput's like, how many errors per second are occurring, memory usage. So all that information is something that we can start collecting on.
You can drill down to find the number of pods and all that stuff?
We can then drill down into all that information, yes. And we can build queries like we did with OnCommand Insight. It's an ability to then pick the objects that we want to look at. I wanted to look at my different storage in the environment. Here's all my different storage. I've only got 4 devices that are being monitored at this one at the moment. But I can then filter those down. I can then subquery them. I can export them to CSV. I can drill down further into each one of those constructs. And if I had the performance metrics, let's do the last 30 days. As you can see, I can then do my graphs, and I'm correlated against all those. We've built this slightly differently, that I can now add widgets as well onto these pages. I've got more widget abilities within Cloud Insights at the moment, so I can bring in, let's do volume. Filter by.
Pretty responsive. I'm guessing HTML5 again.
Good question.
It was just a speculation. Written in HTML5 again.
It is.
It's
Different color.
so responsive.
Yeah. No, it's
Really nice.
extremely quick. And the ability to move and manipulate the data
Yeah.
is very nice.
It's nice.
I don't know if you noticed, but we're pulling thousands of data points back here, and you see how quick that was to retrieve that data. That's 30 days. I don't know how long the system's been up and running because it's a staging environment that I've been playing with, but I can't do more than 30 days at once, but at the moment, let's see, let me give a start time and an end time, and then it should let me apply. I've gone prior to it. Oh, move it forward a little bit. Again,
Yeah.
thousands of data points, bang.
That's quick.
It's quick,
Yeah.
very quick. That same ability to add the metadata to the systems is also kind of crucial in Cloud Insights. So we've brought across all the annotations, all the performance policies. They're all available, and annotation sets, and how you can bring those into the product, how you can manually assign them, how you can automatically assign them. So we've got the holistic view of what's actually going on, and help with that troubleshooting use cases.
So you mentioned that the dynamicism of like the container environment demands a more rapid data gathering. I mean, how does that play out here? Where does that show up in this sort of thing?
So it's the ability for us to bring all those end-to-end relationships. Now, this is not a fully working environment, so I can't actually give you the full deep dive on each of those pieces, but we're being able to stream data into Cloud Insights in a far greater fashion. The ability to not collect just
Ingest.
hundreds of thousands of metrics per second, but billions of metrics per second is a big leap forward. We've now got it's us that's managing the Cloud Insights cluster, and there's multiple devices and pieces of infrastructure in that cluster across multiple microservices that are feeding that in. So that's one piece that goes towards that. The other piece is then how we're monitoring and managing the relationships between each of those components, understanding this container was on this virtual machine and having that historic timeline. So that's a piece that we will be building out in the next few months to make that possible to see. So I want to know that this VM existed and these were the containers that were running on it. This was the performance at 24 hours ago, 3 days ago. Now there's a different set of containers, what was actually running at that time.
And then anomaly detection that you talked about for the infrastructure is also going to be available on that container?
So in the Pro Edition, those are the features that we will start to add into that. And again, we're looking at multiple ways of doing anomaly detection in that environment. If we're streaming in billions of data points, and we really want to reduce noise. So the whole piece about gathering that machine learning and performance data is we want to give targeted, really accurate event notifications. So we're looking at machine learnings that will do things like information entropy and look for surprise events in the infrastructure. My example of that being, I've got a disk failure. A disk failure has now created a rebuild of a spare. That's put utilization onto that RAID group. That pool now is starting to slow down. Pool slowdown is causing node utilization, the CPUs on the controllers to increase. That's then causing a slowdown on the fiber channel network, the BB credits start building. It now appears that there's latency down at the virtual machine layer. Right? So what really happened was a disk failed. But you've now got maybe 100 or 1,000 or 10,000 events that have now been spawned because of that one particular disk failure. Right. The surprise event was the disk failure. It wasn't the fact that I've got BB credits coming into the account. Those are the sort of technologies we're looking to bring in with Cloud Insights. Okay. And the ability for us as NetApp to manage that back-end infrastructure allows us to deliver those quicker to market. It's not then a version upgrade that people then will be consuming 6 months after it's become GA and they've gone through their change control process. They'll get the feature turned on when we turn that feature on.